My F29 husband M35 is angry at me for not calling him sooner when in a hospital. I F29 and my husband M35 are together for 7 years, married for 5, we got twins M3. This situation happened last Tuesday. The kids were in childcare until 1 p.m. I was supposed to work from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. My mom F55, who works from home with flexible hours, or her husband M63, who is retired, were supposed to pick up the children from childcare. My husband was supposed to pick the children up from them after work. I knew that my husband had an emergency at work and he wouldn't have been able to leave sooner. Tuesday morning I left the children at childcare, went home, did some garden work. After that I made myself some breakfast at around 10 a.m. While I was eating I suddenly got so extremely dizzy that I had to hold myself at the table to not fall off the bench. I tried laying down for a moment, then I got the feeling that I needed to puke because I was so dizzy. I crawled to toilet where I sat on the floor crying. After about an hour I called my mom to come and get me. I didn't call my husband because I knew he wouldn't be able to do anything. He was working an emergency. My mom told me to call at work, which I did. She got me and drove me to a doctor, who sent me to a hospital to get a CT scan of my head. My mom's husband got the children from childcare during all of that. All this time I couldn't look at my phone or write a text message because I was so extremely dizzy. I could barely walk a straight line. Anyways, the dizziness got better with time and the hospital did a whole lot of tests, but couldn't determine any reason for it. At around 4 p.m. I finally felt good enough to write to my husband. My mom then drove me home with some medication they gave me. My husband called and asked how I am and if he should get some fast food on the way home. We ate. I went to bed at around 5:30 p.m. and slept directly. My husband put the kids to bed and then got drunk alone. He came to bed in the middle of the night complaining to me that he feels like my mom is more important to me than he is, because I called her instead of him. And he doesn't like that I didn't write directly. I am not supposed to call him at work. I just told him that I am sorry and went back to sleep. The next night he did the same thing. He doesn't accept my apology and says that he doesn't like that I called her instead of him and that he is so worried because he doesn't know what's wrong with me. Which nobody knows currently. I can't really handle him being angry at me for that, but I don't know either if I really did do something wrong, because I really only tried to be considerate with his work schedule. Was not calling him directly really that inconsiderate, or did I hurt his ego, or is it just the alcohol speaking? He knew you were medically incapacitated and he got drunk alone with you plus kids in bed. You were right to call your mom. Sounds like your husband isn't reliable. You'd have had to call her again if it came back. How often does he do things like this? Why did you not get your mother to text him? Even if he couldn't immediately see it, he would have gotten it when he was able to. This is about him and how he thinks he looks to your mom. This isn't about him worrying about you or your well-being. I knew you were very busy at work and was worried about interrupting you, as I know how important your job is. In the future, if you would like me to interrupt your work and ask you to leave to help me, I will, but I thought I was doing the right thing. If it were me, I'd be upset my husband waited so long to tell me he was at the hospital. I wouldn't want to be left in the dark about a health concern, even if I couldn't get to the hospital. Your mom could have sent a text or the nurse could have called for you. But also it's totally not right that he got drunk while you were still recovering and not even sure what's wrong with you yet. What if you had another episode while he was too drunk to care for your kids or take you to the hospital? Totally irresponsible of him. Op buried the lead. Her husband is an alcoholic who drinks alone pretty much daily and blacks out multiple times per week. He cannot speak to you sober? He drunk a lot? He can be all pissed he want. He has alcohol addiction problem and put his alcohol before you. Then relying on your mother more than on him is just the way to go. If you want it different, he need to change himself. Fiancé, 26M, threatened to use physical force to stop me, 27F, from leaving the house with daughter. Mike, 27F, fiancé, 26M, and I got into an argument last night. We both had long days and were snapping at each other, but it hadn't escalated into anything. I was watching Lilo and Stitch with my stepson, 5 years, and our daughter, 6 Malians, and I got up to wash her baby bottles. Fiancé came into the kitchen and said, "Are you still watching your movie?" And I sighed and said, "Yes, okay, I'm just doing dishes." Finished the dishes and walked out into the living room only to find my movie was off and Bluey was on. This was my final straw and I walked off to find fiancé and said, "Are you serious? You asked me if I was still watching and I said yes." Then he exploded back and said, "It's a fucking movie, you can change it back," and I got upset and said, "You still could have told me you were changing it. This was the one thing I wanted today. I just wanted to watch this dumb movie with my kids and relax." And we kept arguing back and forth and he rolled his eyes and said, "Whatever dude." And this pissed me off because he knows I hate it when he turns his back to me and says, "Whatever." So on my way out of the kitchen I flipped him off. It was childish and stupid and I regret it today, but I was just so frustrated and he did the whatever dude thing and I was just reacting with emotion. I went to go put our daughter down in her crib because she fell asleep, and he burst into the room yelling, "Get out of my house if you're going to disrespect me like that." And I told him to lower his voice or he'll wake her up and he said, "I don't care." And she's already awake. She was startled awake from the door slamming open and his yelling. After that, I was just so upset at the whole situation that I said okay and I started packing up her diaper bag and her bottles and he looked at me and he said in this freakishly calm voice, "You're not going anywhere with my daughter." I looked at him and I said, "You work all day and I don't want my 6-month-old baby going to daycare or your parents' house. If we are splitting up I want to take her with me until we can figure out a 50-50 split schedule because I would rather be the one looking after her than some lady in a daycare or your mother. Because quite frankly, I'm staring at her handiwork so yeah I don't want her raising my kid. I'm her mother and I don't currently work. I just wanted to take her with me until we can sit down like adults and figure out a schedule." I told him to his face I wasn't taking her from him, and that I think her mom should take care of her until we figure something out. He said, "Let me put it to you this way, if you try to walk out that door with one of my kids, I will stop you with any means necessary." I started to get scared and I asked him, "Are you telling me you're going to hurt me if I try to take my daughter to my parents' house?" And he said, "If you force my hand." I got really scared, and I took my daughter into the nursery and shut the door, and I took the diaper bag with me because it was already on my shoulder and he came sprinting after me and threw the door open and screamed in my face, shaking his hands in front of me like he was gonna strangle me and screamed, "You're not leaving this house with my baby." I was crying in the corner, holding her to my chest. He never physically put his hands on me and I'm scared that if he calls the police, they'll take her from me because his last name is on her birth certificate. For anyone who's going to say, "Why did you have a kid with him?" or anything like that, he did not act this way before. He's never even come close to acting like he was gonna put his hands on me, and I was so shocked and terrified last night. I mean, yeah, flipping him off was childish and I regret it, but I didn't think it would warrant this. I thought we were both just pissed off and snapping at each other because we had a bad day, and usually when that happens, we go to bed and we wake up and we apologize to each other. I know everyone says, "They're usually so nice," and all that, but this is truly the first time an argument has turned threateningly physical. Usually we both get heated and childish and then we go to bed and cool off and apologize to each other the next day and everything's good. I'm so shocked and I never ever saw this coming, having such a hard time processing that it was real and not a nightmare. Please somebody tell me, does he have the ability to take her away from me? We don't have any nanny cams, I don't have any proof that he did this other than the 5-year-old who heard it, but I'm so scared he's gonna take her from me. Location edit. I live in Maryland in the US, trying to research custody laws for out specific state. Edit number 2. For those of you telling me to leave him, not knocking, complaining about the advice, I didn't make this post to decide whether or not to leave, I am leaving. The advice I need is 1. Can he legally take full custody of my daughter, and 2. What kind of documentation should I have for a lawyer? He hasn't really left a paper trail over text, and most of our arguments thus far have never escalated in this way. We would argue over dumb things when I was pregnant, like who left the dishwasher on overnight. It was never so violent, so I'm worried I don't have enough legal support in this case. I lost my breast milk supply due to being hospitalized with no way to pump or express at 3 weeks postpartum, so she's been on formula. He kind of brought this up saying that she doesn't need me any more than she needs him, and that he can be her sole provider. Okay, I'm sorry this happened to you. This relationship has to be over. Not just for your sake, but for the sake of your daughter. He threatened you with physical violence, and he will do this again. It does not get better. You should call a domestic violence resource to get more help. www.thehotline.org will get you started. Maybe he had a bad day, maybe he isn't usually like this, maybe he'll never harm his daughter, but you will never be able to trust him again, and you shouldn't. He could be a great father, and maybe he's even a great partner to someone else, but he threatened to hurt you while you were holding a baby. You cannot get past that. Next time this occurs, call the cops. You both have equal rights to the kids, so it really does get into a legal gray area if you wish to take them somewhere counter to the other's wishes. But yeah, this person is no longer your fiancé, if you want to model healthy love for your child. Get a lawyer. Get custody sorted out. If you can get them to acknowledge they threatened you with physical violence, either a recording or over text, email, DMS, that may be helpful, but I cannot emphasize enough the need for you to get a lawyer on this shit ASAP. You should have called the police. And you need to call a lawyer and plan your escape. This man will hit you. You have the ability to take her away from him. You're her mother. No court is going to take a 6-month-old baby off its mother unless there is serious abuse going on. The baby is in no danger from you. So that's not going to happen. Take the baby. Call someone you trust to come to the house to help you do this so you aren't alone. Go stay somewhere safe where there are other people, e.g. your parents, siblings' house, or a women's shelter. Wherever you stay, ensure there is CCTV, a ring doorbell installed so you can see if he comes to the address. Go see a family lawyer and report his threats of physical violence to the police. Make sure he's not tracking your phone. Start packing your stuff and hide it in the closet. Get your daughter's birth certificate and your documents into a safe place. When he acts out again, call the cops. No cop will take a child from their mother as long as you are calm. They will escort you and your child out of the situation. Call someone to come and help you while you pack and then get up and leave. You should also call the police to tell them he threatened you and that you're scared for your safety. This will eventually turn physical. Boyfriend 40M wants to move in with me 32F. When is it too soon? I, 32F, have been dating my boyfriend, 40M, since January of this year. His apartment lease is up as of October 1st and he was recently laid off from his current job. He asked to move in with me until he finds another job and is able to afford living on his own again. Otherwise, he will have to stay with family either an hour away or almost 3 hours away. He fears I will leave him if that is the case, no matter how much I assure him otherwise. I am simply not ready for him to move in. I live in an 800 square feet condo, even if he's just living out of a suitcase. He thinks we have been together long enough for him to move in, but I think we need to be together 1-2 years. Looking for thoughts on this subject. Thanks in advance. Yes, it's too soon. He probably needs a place to crash and you're the perfect solution to support him. You'll end up with a hobosexual on your hands. Don't do it. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Don't force it or let him force you. Anything less than an emphatic yes should be a no. This can change over time, of course, but it should be a no right now. Do not invite a hobosexual into your relationship. Stand your ground. Never move in with someone out of convenience. Especially given he has no job and no idea when he will move out again. Say no, you don't need to feel guilty. His reaction to you doing this will also be telling of the type of person he is. Let him stay with family an hour away. That's the perfect platform for him to find another job and continue your burgeoning relationship. You might be ready to move in together when he's working in a new role and by the end of your lease. Win. Move in because you want to. Not because he is unemployed and his lease is about to end. I, 27 male, confessed my feelings to 26 female girlfriend. Need advice on what to do next. Going to try and keep this simple. We've been together for 4 years now. We moved in together at the start of this year, 2-year lease. We barely talk outside of the usual work talk, family drama. We haven't been in it, mate, since we moved in and a good bit before we moved. I thought moving would help this, but no. I feel unwanted and alone. I truly don't even know if she is attracted to me or not. When I broke down, I specifically asked her if she was or not, didn't get an answer, she just didn't acknowledge the question. I'm not even the most horny guy in the world, but it's been a year and a half since anything and it's making feel like I'm disgusting or something is wrong with me. I recently got into the gym because of this, down 18 pounds, so yay for that, I guess. She gave me reasons on the no intimacy and I understand where she is coming from. 1. She doesn't like the way she looks, I get it, but I really do think she is beautiful. I've tried getting her in the gym with me. She's tried twice, both times giving up a weekend. Doesn't respond to motivation. 2. She said she needs to go to OBGYN, totally understandable. But she still hasn't made an appointment to go. She first brought up going months ago. 3. Her dog. I absolutely despise this dog and I used to be a dog person. We cannot physically touch without her dog jumping on us or nipping at me. I tried getting her to take it to a trainer. Trainer refused after seeing just how bad the nerves are. She also doesn't discipline the dog after doing something bad. 4. She said her drive is lower. I get it, but it's been like a year and a half since anything. I don't know what to do about this reason. Not sure if I even could do anything. This was all said a couple weeks ago. She maybe has started kissing me an extra 3 or 4 times a week. Has come up from the once before bed, but it's just not enough. Is this bad of me to think? It's as if the conversation never even happened. Plus she still keeps talking about buying a house as if everything is fine. Not doing until things change. If they ever do, it's as if she doesn't even see me anymore. I talked to my mom about all of this and she mentioned her probably being depressed, which I can understand. I already feel like such a fucking douchebag asking for intimacy. I don't want her to start doing stuff like that just because I want her to. I feel unwanted and alone. I truly don't even know if she is attracted to me or not. When I broke down, I specifically asked her if she was or not, didn't get an answer, she just didn't acknowledge the question. I'm not even the most horny guy in the world, but it's been a year and a half. Okay, So your girlfriend hasn't been intimate with you for a year and a half, and when you asked her whether she was attracted to you, she ignored you. Whatever else this girl's problem is, she is not in a romantic relationship with you and probably doesn't want one. It's time to break up and move on with your life. Good for you for starting up at the gym. That was a great first step. You're 27, yo. Every day in this relationship is another day wasted. She's a friend, that's it. You are better off alone and at least give yourself a chance at a real relationship. Do you want this for a forever marriage? Personally, dead bedroom is a death sentence. Sounds like you already know how you feel and what you need to. First of all, never ever try to fix a situation like this with a big change. It never works. That change can be a move into a new apartment or trying for children. I've had a lot of people in my life who told me, I thought she'd change after ______. Second, this relationship isn't worth your time. Work on yourself, first and foremost, and dump her ass. People who are so blatantly ignorant to their significant other's feelings are not actually ignorant, they just don't give a shit. Third, who cares if you're stuck in a lease? Do not try to stay in the relationship because of that. Her saying she needs a gyno first makes me feel like she has an issue down there that she is self-conscious about.